Zel Boy Army, welcome to another spicy video on the channel. In this one, we are looking at the Premier League Player of the Month SBC, İlkay Gundogan. Let's get into it. So, the Premier League Player of the Month SBC is one that we obviously get every month. It is based off the real life award. So, if you ever get annoyed and thinking, oh, why don't EA just give it to players that'll be really good on foot? They can't, because they can't just change the award solely to make it a good card on FIFA. So İlkay Gundogan, instantly we're going to say probably not the most exciting card. I've really wanted to see a Jack Grealish card. As a big Villa fan, Jack Grealish has been nominated for Player of the Month 3 or 4 times this year already, I think. He's been nominated nearly every month and not won it yet. There's been a lot of love for Bruyne. He's obviously had 2 Player of the Months this year. İlkay Gundogan, though, just purely off the stats of the last few months, I can't complain. Like, Gundogan, I think, got 5 goals in January. Man City are the most informed team in world football right now. They're on fire. And Gundogan's been their best player, to be honest. So it's fair enough he won it. Let's look at the card, though. His birthday's only one day after mine, actually. 23rd of October is mine, so same birthday as Rooney Gundogan has. 4-star, 4-star. That is a nice start. 4-star, 4-star is what we want on a midfielder. Obviously, 5-star's nice, but 4-star both means he's very meta in that sense. Work rates, I don't really care for them on this game. I don't really think they do much of a difference. Some people think they do. What I would say was, whenever I give you guys advice, don't just blindly agree with it. Test your own things, find what works for you. I'm not the fountain of all knowledge on FIFA, but I think I know the game pretty well inside out. I will give you my advice from my perspective. It's up to you then to take what you think and then work on some stuff for yourself. This Gundogan card, though, for a midfielder, he's pretty well rounded. Let's actually look at how much he costs. An 83 team with a team of the week coming in at that's coming in at about 40 to 50k. I don't think he's an amazing card, but he's actually very good value in the sense of he is not expensive. But there's a reason. He's not very quick. His passing and dribbling is not top tier, but it is very solid. Even in February at this point, he's got solid defending. His defending's better than it looks as well, because it's 75, but the heading and slide tackle aren't the best, and they're probably the 2 most irrelevant stats. The interceptions and defensive awareness is pretty good for a 4-star, well-rounded midfielder. His physical, not great, but not bad. It's just about average. He can shoot okay. I would be looking at a hunter on this card. A hunter on this card gives him 81 pace, which is still too slow at this point in the game. 87 finishing, 88 shot power. If you're in a really cheap team, Premier League, and you have some tradables, then this Gundogan ain't bad. But I just don't think he's quite with the curve right now. 50 to 40k, I think EA have done a good value SBC. If you have a few untradables, you're going to be able to do them so cheap that you might even be able to do them for free. My view would be, though, I'd much rather EA at this point of the game start to do SBCs like this, where they've done an 86 because he was an 83 before and they've upgraded him by 2. I would much rather them just go all out and give him like an 88 or an 89 and give him like 80 pace. If this card was an 88 or an 89 with 80 pace and plus 3 or 4 on shooting, passing, dribbling, defending, physical, he'd be very meta and a very usable card. Obviously, he would come in at more than 50k, but if you did that and made him like 200k for an SBC, that'd be good. It'd be good content. It'd be stuff that everyone wants to get involved. Well, not everyone, but lots of people would want to do. Right now, my opinion on this card on paper is good card, but not good enough to want to put any coins into an untradeable, because, like I say, he's just too slow. We'll compare him to some of the other cards in the Premier League, though, the midfielders. So that was a video I did yesterday, the, what do you call it, under 200k value. This is my team right now. So we'll put İlkay here, and then we'll just get some other Premier League mids and compare. Concept players on. Bruyne. So De Bruyne is one of his teammates. Let's compare the two. De Bruyne probably cost about twice as much, but he's tradable. And they're the same team, pretty similar links. Germany is a good nation to link. You could link some Bundesliga players. De Bruyne, though, instantly has the better weak foot. He's quicker. He's got a lot better shooting, a lot better passing. Similar-ish dribbling. Quite a bit worse defending. Similar-ish physical. I'd prefer De Bruyne's physical because the stamina's quite a nice boost. Gundogan's stamina is a little bit low. So De Bruyne is a comfortably better card. So we've already got that. Let's look at N'Golo Kante. Because we're going to look at cards that are around 50 to 100k. Because that's around what Gundogan's coming in at. N'Golo Kante. Worse weak foot and skills. But he's more of a defensive-minded player. A lot quicker. Quite a bit worse shooting. Quite a bit worse passing. Quite a bit worse on the ball. But so much better at defending and physical that it makes up for it. Because he's actually elite in two areas whereas Gundogan isn't. But when you look at it, the cards, you could make an argument for Gundogan looking okay there. But for me, this year's games matters more about players who can do a bit of everything in midfield. Even my destroyers, I want to have be pretty good on the ball, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes. Let's remove my 89 so we can put Bruno. Can put the gold Bruno. This Bruno's about 60, 70k, so similar price. They both are 4-star, 4-star. Bruno's a lot quicker. Similar as shooting, but Bruno's a bit better. Similar passing. Gundogan's better on the ball. Bruno's got quite a bit worse defending. And Gundogan's better physically. But Bruno does have a lot better stamina. And stamina is a pretty key stat. So Bruno's a better card again. Like I say, if you run a very cheap team, then this Gundogan, he's a bit slow, but he looks okay. And maybe could fit into a cheap team on this game. When I compared him to De Bruyne, Bruno and Kante, he actually stood up better than I expected. It's just how much do you care about pace? CDM or centre mid, which would be the obvious places you'd want to play Gundogan. You need to be putting a hunter on him. You could maybe put a shadow on, still get the 10 pace if you want to just boost that defender to make him a bit more well-rounded as a defensive-minded player. It's just, do you think you can get away with the pace? Pace on this game is vital, but in midfield, CDM or centre mid, it is the least important position for pace, is something that I will say. So, if there's any way you can get away with it, it's there. He looks like he'll be pretty good on the ball. He's got elite passing. His shooting's good enough that you could put a shadow on. He's good at defending physical. I don't like that you can't boost his stamina. If there was like a chem style that gave 10 pace and 10 stamina, that would be big for him. He's probably going to need to be subbed off, and he ain't that quick anyway, so... For me, even in a not great Prem team, he probably just doesn't quite cut it. But if you want to try him out, if you like him, he's good links, then he looks okay. It's not a bad card. It's a decent value SBC from EA, so I don't mind it. But like I say, I just wish they'd give him a bigger boost and make him very meta right now. Because Gundogan's been on fire as the best player in the Prem, but I'm just about considering him when I compare him to gold versions of cards that already have loads of upgrades. Guys, if you like this type of videos, please let me know. Please subscribe, like the video. Appreciate you all. Have a great evening.